Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I have a thrifted book haul for you guys. These are all the books that I thrifted for the past 2 months. I love thrifting books. They are so much cheaper than going to the thrift store, and what I really love about thrifting books is that you get to discover new books that you might have not otherwise discovered if you weren't thrifting, if that makes sense. So for example, my first pick, I'm just going to show it to you before I explain it, but it's called Park Avenue Summer by Renee Rosen. I have never heard of this book before. I haven't really heard about it on Booktube, Book Talk, but it seems like a really interesting book that I would really enjoy, and I don't think I would have discovered it if I didn't find it in the thrift store myself, because like I still buy books from Barnes & Noble, Amazon, whatever, but I'm usually gravitated towards the books that a lot of people are talking about or the ones that are popular, just because I don't know, I like to be included in the conversation. I like to be basic as fuck too, but I probably wouldn't buy this book for $16 not knowing anything about it or hearing any reviews on it. So that's what's really cool about thrifting, is you're not spending a lot of money. It really broadens your reading horizons, I feel like. So yeah, we're gonna go through the books. And by the way, the reason I thrift so much and have so many thrifted books is because I'm actually a full-time reseller. So I go to thrift stores and I take those items and I resell them on websites like Poshmark, eBay, and Mercari. And I actually have a whole channel dedicated to the inventory I pick out, what my sales are like, all that stuff. So if you're interested in that at all, looking for a way to make some part-time money, you can check out my second channel, which is going to be linked down below. And let's just get into the book haul. So the first book I already showed you is Park Avenue Summer by Renee Rosen. In this book, we follow Alice Weiss, and it takes place in 1965 New York City. So basically, this book really reminds me of Devil Wears Prada meets 1965. So a historical fiction version of Devil Wears Prada, basically. So Alice, she moves from the country to the city, and she works for the first female editor of Cosmopolitan? Yes, I'm saying that correctly. Why did I have to repeat myself? Cosmopolitan magazine. And because she is the first female editor, there is some misogyny going on, or at least that's the hints I'm getting from the back of the book. It says, when someone tries to pull Alice into a scheme to sabotage her boss, she is more determined than ever to help Helen succeed. Helen is her boss. So I just think this is going to be a really fun, cozy read, probably a really fast read too, just because I love Devil Wears Prada. It's one of my favorite like 2000s movies. It is the best, and if this is anything like that, I know I'm just going to eat this book up and finish it pretty quickly. So I'm super excited about this. And this was released in 2019, and where did I get this? I got this at a store. I think it was either $1. There it is, the price right there. This book was $1. The next book that I picked up is City of Girls by Elizabeth Gilbert. In this story, we are following 19-year-old Vivian. Well, that's how it starts out, is we're following 19-year-old Vivian, and she gets kicked out of her college. Yes, that's our college in 1940, and she comes from an affluent family, affluent parents, and they send her to go live with her aunt in Manhattan, and her aunt runs a flamboyant theater where she meets a lot of interesting people. And this book takes place when she is 89 years old, and she's reflecting back on her times at the theater, the people she met, the mistakes that she made, the love of her life, and all that stuff. It just sounds like a really fun book, and I'm really excited to read it. Apparently, I have a thing for historical fiction, even though I don't even read historical fiction. These are like the first two I've really picked up, so there's this. And yeah, I'm excited to read this. I hope to read this in November. I really want to read this soon. I didn't have room on my October TBR, but my November TBR, we'll see you there. Okay, I just like try to explain the summary of this next book I'm going to show you, but I messed up, and I feel like I've been doing that a lot, and I have to like repeat like myself, although you don't see it because I edited it out. But like, damn, newfound respect for booktubers. It's like hard to just like summarize books that you haven't read. The next book we have is The Key to Happily Ever After by Tiff Marcello, and in this book we are following 3 sisters that take over their parents' wedding boutique, and basically through the process that they learn, it's not all like flowers and roses and happiness and happily ever after, that there is a lot of bridezillas, controlling grooms, and fighting couples, but they have an overarching lesson that they learn at the end of every day, that is, no matter how bad things can get, at least they have each other to rely on because they're sisters. And this book is all about sisterhood, family business, wedding, and the cover was honestly so cute, which is why I picked it up, and I'm really excited to read this book. It sounds like a really fun read. I don't know when I'll get to it, because it doesn't really fit my fall mood, my fall vibes, but I knew it was something I wanted to read eventually, so I got this. And this one I believe I also paid $1 for, so there's that. Oh, and this one I paid $2 for. Okay, so the next 3 books, I'm gonna go over the plots of all of them, but they're all by the same author, and that is Frederick Backman. And I basically just found a huge pile of his books. Well, not a huge pile, 3 books. I found 3 books. I bought 3 books by him at this thrift store, and I paid 50 cents a piece for them. And I got all of them because I had just finished reading Anxious People, and that is honestly one of my favorite books that I've read this year. I listened to it on audio, and then I went out and bought a physical copy to have on my bookshelf because I just love the story, like love it. So I found these 3 Frederick Backman books, and I am super excited about them because I was tempted to like order these off Amazon or eBay or something. So the first one I have is My Grandmother Asked Me to Tell You She's Sorry, and this book we are following Elsa, and she is 7 years old, and she was best friends with her grandmother who was 79 years old. And her grandma was crazy. It describes her on the back as standing on the balcony firing paintball guns at strangers type of crazy. And when her grandma passes away, she leaves letters to those she has wronged, and she sends Elsa here on a journey to return those letters to the people, basically saying, my grandmother asked me to tell you she's sorry. And that's the book. It's supposed to be just a nice feel-good story, as his books I think tend to be. I know Anxious People was a really fun feel-good story, really interesting book. Just like everything about that book I loved. It was mainly about characters and not so much plot, which, you know, I really liked. And I have a feeling all of his books are going to be similar to that, so only time will tell. I haven't read any others yet. The next book I picked up by Frederick Backman is Britt Was Here, which I've actually never heard of this book before. I heard of My Grandmother's Story, and I heard of The Man Called Ove, and I've heard of Beartown, but I've never heard of this one before. So this was actually the first one I spotted on the shelf too. I just spotted his name and I was like, ooh, interesting, never heard of that before. So this book we are following our main character Britt Marie, and she moves to a backwater town after leaving her unfaithful husband, and she's kind of a know-it-all. Like, she thinks everything should be done a certain way, and she's not shy about sharing her opinions on other people and how they should be living their lives or how they're doing things wrong. But behind all of that, she has a bigger imagination, bigger heart than anyone can ever even imagine. And basically this is just a story about this woman moving to this small town, letting her guard down and connecting with those around her, and it's supposed to be another just feel-good, heartwarming story, which I'm excited to read. The last book I picked up by Frederick Backman is A Man Called Ove, and in this one we are following our main character Ove, and he is just a grumpy old man, and he gets new neighbors next door to him that turns out to be a young family, young parents and 2 daughters, and they have a meet cute moment by flattening his mailbox and with their U-Haul truck, and that's how these characters meet, and they start to forge unlikely friendships. And again, as I said with all of his books, it's just supposed to be a heartwarming feel-good story. The next book I picked up is Mort Hall by Martin Edwards, and this is a historical fiction murder mystery novel. Honestly, the synopsis on the back does not seem very long. It just seems like a normal one, but trust me, a lot happens in these few paragraphs, so let me try to summarize it as best as I can. So there is a murder, and then someone escapes from jail, and then we have one of our main characters, I'm assuming his name is Jacob Flint, who is then framed for murder. And he goes on a quest to find out why these strange events are linked to a place called Mort Hall. Coincidentally, at Mort Hall, there is a female criminologist who is hosting a dinner party with people who have narrowly escaped the miscarriage. Let me just read the back. We're following. She hosts a dinner party of people who have narrowly escaped the consequences of miscarriage of justice. No wonder I couldn't remember that. That was so many like long syllable words. Wait, syllable? Yeah, right? Yeah, syllable words. I used that correctly. So at this dinner party, there is a body found under the house, and it just turns into like a whodunit type of story. And we have Rachel Savernake, who's been invited to the party, proposes an intricate and dangerous solution to the assembled guests, having done her own sleuthing into the secrets of Mort Hall. Will her relentless quest for the truth bring down the British establishment? I just feel like this story is going to be a cozy mystery, very atmospheric, especially because it's called Mort Main Hall. It's very like, I feel like the book is going to have a very atmospheric vibe, which I'm really looking forward to. And it sounds creepy. I mean, look at the front of the cover. It looks eerie, creepy. It looks like the perfect book you want to read October, November. I do plan on reading it in the month of October. If you watched my October TBR, which you should watch that, and you should subscribe down below. And then the next book I picked up is The Sundown Motel by Simone St. James, and this one I got for 25 cents. The Frederick Backman books and the Mort Main Hall book I got for 50 cents a piece. So in this book, we are following Viv Delaney. In 1982, she goes to work at the Sundown Motel and she disappears. Fast forward to 2017, her niece comes to the hotel or the motel to investigate her aunt's disappearance because she disappeared. Well, yeah, it's 2017 and she's going back to the hotel to investigate a disappearance that happened in 1982. Okay. And it's supposed to be basically a paranormal thriller. There's haunting and scary things happening at the motel, and yeah, it's just a paranormal thriller book, but it has pretty good reviews and all that sounds super interesting to me. I'm excited to read it this month. It has the spooky vibes that I'm looking for. Okay, the next two books are mass market paperbacks, which I hate mass market paperbacks, but I had to get them for the stories. The first one I picked up is The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan. So this book, oh my god, it is so big. How many pages is this? Oh, it's 814 pages. Okay. So this book here, I picked it up and I really don't know too much about this book, what it's about, what the series is about, other than it is an epic fantasy novel and it has gotten pretty good reviews from other booktubers that I like. Really love to watch Books with Emily Fox, and she really liked this book. And Peruse Project Reagan she's currently reading this book, and she said she got through half of this book in a day, which means it must be really good. And I trust those two girls. I trust their opinions. I found this at Goodwill for $2 and I was like, you know what, we're just gonna get it because why not? So we'll see. I want to read this in November because I'd love to read it in October, but I don't think I'm gonna have time. So I think this is gonna have to be on the back burner for November, but I'm excited. I don't really know too much about it. The book has definitely been well loved though, and I kind of love that. It has that really worn down look. I don't know, that's one of the things I love about thrifted books is like the used ones. I don't know, like when they're beaten down, I just, you know that somebody loved this book, loved this story, and that's why I love these types of books. The books have character. Okay, the next mass market paperback that I picked up is The Phantom of the Opera by Gaston Leroux. Hopefully I didn't completely butcher that and embarrass myself, but this is the book that I picked up. Yeah, this was a 25-cent book, and this book is, okay, so Phantom of the Opera. It is one of my all-time favorite plays, one of my favorite movies, favorite soundtracks, favorite songs. I love The Phantom of the Opera, and then I saw this book, and I was like, damn, I'm a fake fan, because I didn't even know that it was a book. Like, I genuinely thought it was a Broadway show turned into a movie, and like I had no idea. Like, I thought Andrew Lloyd Webber was the originator of The Phantom of the Opera. So clearly fake fan. Like, don't listen to me when I tell you it's my favorite. But I found this book. Apparently it is one, and I'm really excited to read it. It's a classic. It is from when was this written? So this book was released in 1868, so we'll have to see how the text is. I have a whole shelf dedicated to classics, so I am not one that really enjoys classics. I don't know, I don't like the old style writing, but since I say it's my favorite everything, I feel like a fake fan. You know what I mean? Like, I need to read the book if I'm really gonna claim it's my favorite storyline ever. But basically in this book, you're following Christine, and she's like a background dancer at this theater, and then she becomes a singer at the theater, partly because of the phantom that haunts the house, haunts the theater. And there's also this guy, Raoul, and then Christine has a whole love thing with him, but the phantom is in love with her, and he also haunts the theater. I already said that. And it's just a really beautiful story. I really like it. I love the soundtrack. I love the movie soundtrack. I've seen it twice in like live in theater, like in the actual theater, and then I definitely own the DVD to the movie. So we'll see how that goes. And then I have 4 more books left. So the next book I have is We Were Liars by E. Lockhart, and this I just thrifted the other day for 25 cents. So this is relatively new to my collection, and it is a hardcover, which I'm pretty excited about. All I know about this book is it's about 4 friends. They're on some private island, rich people island, like, I don't know, and something happens and they were liars about it, and it's a mystery. It's a short mystery novel. It's like 200 pages, and I'm really excited to read it. I know it has mixed reviews. From what I gather, Booktube is like woohoo, and Book Talk is like nah, and that's what I'm gonna discover. Who is right? Who is right? Is Booktube right and this book is eh, or is Book Talk right and is the hype real? I don't know. We'll find out together. I'm pretty excited about it, and yeah, this is one of my recent pickups. The next book I got from eBay, so it's technically not thrifted, but it is secondhand. And actually the eBay store I bought it from, I think was called like Thrifted Books or like Goodwill Books or something. And that is The School for Good and Evil, A World Without Princes. This is the second book in the School for Good and Evil series. I have the first 4, so I have 1 here, 3 here, 4 here, 2 here. Actually, all these ones here I thrifted from Goodwill. They're $5 a piece, and I got them a while ago, so that's why they're not in this haul video. But I've read the first one, so then naturally I had to order this one off eBay, and now I have to read it. I got it last month. I don't know. I read the first one and I really liked it. I really want to read the second one, but I have so many books to read that I'm just like, oh, and there's a book that I actually don't have with me, but I just ordered it off eBay last night. And this one, by the way, I bought it this like $5 or $6, which included the free shipping. So deals. And anyway, the book I ordered off eBay last night was Blood and Honey. I just finished Serpent and Dove, which was on my October TBR. Again, check out that video. I loved it. Spoiler alert. And I just ordered Blood and Honey off of eBay for $6, including free shipping. So I am super happy about that. And those are all my thrifted books that I got for the past 2 months. And actually I have 2 more books here, but I actually didn't thrift them. I got them from Book of the Month. So I'm just going to show you those really quickly. The first book I have is The Love Hypothesis. This was my September pick. It is by Allie Hazelwood, where it's about a scientist. It's about a professor. There's fake dating. She doesn't believe in love. But obviously I think they fall in love. And there we go. The Love Hypothesis. I'm not going into too much detail about these because I feel like they're like all over Booktube, and like chances are if you're watching my Booktube video, you've watched all the big Booktubers out there, you already know what this is about. Okay, the last book in this haul, I'm actually currently reading right now, and it is the X Hex by Erin Sterling, and this was my October pick, and I actually didn't put this in my October TBR, and that was like totally because I just forgot because it hadn't come in the mail yet, and I was gonna like verbally say it and then just edited a picture of the book, but then I just totally forgot to mention it. So this was supposed to be in my October TBR. It wasn't, but yeah, this is the X Hex. I'm like 30% of the way into it. I'm at like page 111 or something, and there's like right over 300 pages in the book. How do I feel about the book? Well, you'll have to find out in my October wrap up, but we're just here right now. We're here. I'm not saying but we're here. We're not sure which way I'm gonna go yet. I mean, it's leaning a little, but like, we don't know yet. I haven't finished it. I'm only 30% through. But anyway, that is the last book that I have. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully I'm able to film another book haul soon, because that means I'll have bought more books, and buying books is just literally, it's happiness, it's joy, it's everything. And thrifting books, oh my god, you guys, my bank account, like, let's really count how much I spent on all this. If we take out the 2 books I got on eBay, which is this book and Blood and Honey, on all these books right here, plus these books here, I paid $8.75, so under $10 for all these books, which is literally beautiful. Like, that is beautiful. Okay, well, I just dropped things on my computer. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Consider subscribing down below so I can make, or I'm going to be making, not so I can make, I'm gonna make it regardless, but I'm going to be making more bookish content, more bookish videos. If you would like to be a part of it, subscribe down below, and honestly, like, just leave me a comment what books you have recently hauled, which ones you have recently thrifted. Have you ever been like thrifting for books before? Like, if so, is there one that you found that you absolutely fell in love with that nobody talks about on Booktube, but you only discovered it through thrifting? If so, let me know down below in the comments. Leave a like, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!